Okay. Namaste, my life inquisitors. Thank you for joining me on Power Interpretation with Blu Yogi. I have another special guest today. So, Fred, I actually had one person in person yesterday, and you're my first person from across the world. So I think I would like to start it by you just introducing yourself. I usually started with me first saying like why I appreciate this conversation right now, because when I first got Anchor, I don't know if I told you this, but you're like one of the only people who had like conscious conversations or conscious something or self-aware podcasts. I couldn't find like a lot of people, and then I was like, this guy Fred, he has this really awesome channel. And then as you were talking, I like that you just took action on it as well, because you're not like a self-proclaimed like guru or master or anything, right?
Yeah.
So can you just let everybody know what part of the world you are at, and just a little bit of history of like your, I don't know, spiritual background, or however you want to talk about it.
Okay, just first off, it's amazing to be having this conversation right now. I mean, it's a great time. I'm smiling from ear to ear because we actually had trouble making the connection. There's always something trying to run an interference, but we were supposed to have this conversation. It's not by coincidence that you were searching for whatever you was looking for, and I was the only option. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
This was supposed to happen, but I'm from Houston, Texas. When I was younger, I experienced a lot of trauma. As far as me, fighting and getting in a lot of trouble, like I used to express my aggression in ways in which, was kind of unhealthy, but, where I come from, it was kind of the norm. And as I got older, just paying attention to life, I've always been a wanderer. So, I do a lot of walking around. Like I spend a lot of time in the woods where I can clear my mind and kind of gain an understanding of, why my mind is cluttered, and just trying to pay attention to the laws that are outside of man's perception, so to speak. My drift. And just observing that, when I felt like I had nothing else to fall back on, and this is what grew from it. And I mean, I'm still learning. I don't know where to start, man. It's so much. I'm a father of five. I'm a father of five. I pay attention to how I was brought up, and my peers as well. And so I learned lessons from that, and I try to do the right thing as a father, and I learned so much from them. So I want to attribute them to my growth as well. So yeah, man, you're getting a lot. I mean, we are very observant, man. I consider myself to be a spiritual being more than anything else, but I'm ready.
Yeah, so thank you for that, man. And Houston, Texas, that's where one of my oldest best friends are at, actually, too. So when I visit him, that means we can link up.
Definitely. I look forward to it. Like I told you, there's no such thing as coincidence, and I'm gonna constantly point that out, because a lot of times these subtle messages, it goes over our heads, especially if we don't know how to pay attention to it. So
yeah. So let's talk about the topic of the day. So the topic is surrender, all right, and just how I take it. Like when I was writing it down, I was like, surrender equals fate. Like I like how you just said it. I try to pay attention to the perspective that is outside of the man, the human, right? Like there's something more here, and it's like, to me, surrendering to that is not only a day-to-day thing, but it's also you need to have like some type of intention toward it. Or I like what you just said. I've always been a wanderer.
You let the cat out of the bag with that one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it in a way in which I don't want to lose your audience. I don't want to, I want to kind of try to keep, like my mind I mean, I'm constantly on something, so I tend to drift, but,
Okay.
I will hold me accountable.
I got you. I'm going to pull you back if I feel you're going too far.
Yeah, okay, so, I guess everything that we've been through as individuals, kind of everything that we go through, it shows us whenever we try to release something or let go of something, in order for that struggle to be taking place, what is the opposing force? We never think about that. Like, if I'm struggling to let something go, what is that opposing force? You know what I'm saying? So I try to connect it on the mind, body, and spiritual level. Like on the body, the way that you might compare it is somebody that can't stop eating food, or they have some type of addiction and they battle with it that way. Or something like mental, where somebody has an addiction to drugs or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? But the spirit is unconditioned. The mind and the body is conditioned based on our past experiences, etc., etc.
I like that.
So and it's just a matter of understanding. Like we can talk all day long, but if you're not able to make a connection with somebody based on their experience, because we all connected, soul is one. You understand what I'm saying? Soul is one, so we all connected. It's just a matter of us being able to communicate on a certain vibration, on a certain frequency, to where we can connect with other people to where they understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something that it knows. As soon as the minute that the spirit hears something that it knows, it goes to work. You know what I mean? And that's something totally different than believing.
So would you say, like, I know we talked and you said I really fell into this space, and you correct me if I'm wrong. It happened faster than I thought, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? I would call that surrender moment. Like you opened yourself up to something, and maybe the opposing force was like, man, don't go too fast, because you know.
Yeah, it's the fear of the unknown. That's exactly what it is. It's the fear of the unknown. Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you've really grown in attachment to this person, and you don't know, but this person is ready to break up with you because of turmoil or whatever the case may be. You stay stuck in neutral when you don't know what to do. Like, and you know that fight or flight thing kicks in. And a lot of times when you in shock or something, you stand still, you stay neutral, you don't know what to do. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I pay attention to that talk. That's why I try to just act. And I don't even leave room for fear or doubt to try to creep into my mind, because it's a disease. You understand what I'm saying? It's the main reason as to why a lot of us are not successful, because, and I want to clear it up, like, to be successful, you can be a success in anything that you do. Any single thing that you do, you can be a success. It's just a matter of your mind and your body and your spirit playing tug of war with all these different energies. Everything is energy, so we entertain all these different energies, and our vision is distorted. So we have to look at everybody's reality if we don't know what's going on within ourselves.
Yeah. So that transition for you, because it sounds like even before you got settled into I'm just gonna say, like, you got settled into the spirit even more. It sounds like even before that, you were curious enough to know that this ain't it. Because I want to kind of know. I just want to hit where you felt that change, or that moment when it was like, oh man, there is a such thing as peace. Like when I think of surrender, I think about, like I said, I already hinted toward it, like faith. Like once you have that, everything can be peaceful even during the chaos. Like I was in the military in Afghanistan. On one of my podcasts, I mentioned it, but I was always smiling. I was like smiling a lot, because somewhere in me. Wait, say it again.
From chaos comes peace.
1,000. So how do you keep how does that become more of a conscious awareness for you?
This is a moment of surrender for me, because this is a very personal story. But I think right now is the time for me to to go ahead and speak about it publicly.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of people that's close to me, they kind of know what I've been through. I'm trying to figure out how I can start this out. Like I told you, I had a rough upbringing, and I kind of viewed things a certain way when I was younger, ignorant.
Yeah.
That just means lack of knowledge, and I had to experience what I experienced to come to this realization. But as I got older, life and everything started to change around me. Man, I'm shaking, which lets me know that this is, it's letting me know, like I told you, feelings is understanding, man, and I feel it in my gut now, my body is getting numb, and whenever that happens, it only means that the spirit is taking over, so I'm going to be able to just pretty much flow through it.
And
that's the power that comes from opening up and just releasing and being available to spirituality. A lot of times we find ourselves filling these voids with people, places, and things, but when you kind of tune into yourself, this is where it flows from, and to be quite transparent, this side of life is so amazing. To be honest with you, I never thought that this was a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Man, thank you.
From what you just said. So, yeah, man, I got to the point to where I went to jail when I was 18. I came home and I was in there for a year. I came home and a lot of my friends who I used to hang out with, they was either in jail or doing their own thing. So I kind of detached and I was off the scene, and I started kind of dealing with life, and that took it went on a roller coaster. Around the time I turned 27, there was this incident to where I had a vision. And the vision was so strong, I couldn't deny it, and I couldn't play like I didn't just see what I just saw. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't just, and to experience that and not know nothing about it, like I started feeling like I was losing my mind. And that was a process that went on until I actually lost my mind, and I had to go to a crazy hospital, and I'm gonna kind of go into details about that. And so, yeah.
Go ahead.
So like I said, I had that vision, and then now my mind was really wondering, like, okay, what was that? What did I just see? What just happened? Like, I know I just saw what I just saw. What the hell is going on? Like, it kind of freaked me out. So, I went through a little process, and I tried to take my life. I tried to overdose on pills, and I remember climbing in the closet, the closet that's downstairs, the house closet. I remember climbing in there. Once I felt my body got weak, I knew that the pills were kicking in, so I went in there and I laid down, and I closed the door, and like I just remember, like, that saying when they say your life flashed before your eyes, like that's actually that's actually quite true. And I used to hear people talk about that, and I used to just be like, man, I used to kind of feel like they were lying, but now I kind of, I know now. So, and I threw up, but I laid there in my throw up, and I guess that was the beginning of my spiritual journey. And what kind of made me want to take my life was I just got into this point where I couldn't sleep. I was losing sleep. I didn't know who to turn to. I was talking to all my friends, but I was sounding crazy to them. Just imagine trying to explain something that you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't study something that's happening on the inside. So Google couldn't fix it. So I ran to my mama, and she worked at the hospital. So she kind of gave me some pills that made me, it was supposed to relax my body and put me to sleep. And, it did that. I went home, took a shower, and I took the pill to kind of get some rest. And I was woken up out of my dream. I jumped up out of my dream. And that's something that was constantly happening. Like, if I had a fight in high school and I knocked the guy out, I was the person that was getting knocked out. You know what I'm saying? That happened continuously, and I just lost so much sleep. That's what made me go to run to my mom and tell her what was going on. So this time in particular, I went to sleep, and I'll never forget, I was in a situation to where I had to do something, and I I was the person on the other end of that, and it freaked me out. Like I jumped up out my sleep, and I was like, okay, I'm not trying to go back to sleep, and that's what made me try to, do what I did.
Yeah.
And through that, came spirituality and being led by numbers and thinking that the TV talking to me, the phone talking to me. So all the coincidences that happened, it was so overwhelming I couldn't ignore it. Like I told you, I was going through what I was going through. I called my family over, and I was trying to explain to them that the trees have water, and water has memory.
Yeah.
I was going all over through that, but when you learn something new, you kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So
I got you.
I was running 100 miles per hour, and it was sounding crazy to them, and that was on a Saturday. I'll never forget, because my mom and them went to church the very next day, and the pastor was telling them everything that I had said. My mama called me like, Richard, what's going on? What's going on? And it was, I was like, wow, so you believe the pastor, but when I told you that it didn't do nothing for you, like it made me, it kind of made me feel some type of way. And I just experienced being hurt time after time after time after time. And ultimately, I just went into solitude, and my spiritual transformation and growth from that moment on has just been, I haven't even gotten to the point on what sent me to the crazy hospital, but we'll get into that, on another episode.
Yeah. Thank you for your vulnerability.
Definitely. That was one of the things that I'm big on. Like if I'm gonna put it out there, I gotta be completely transparent, because one of the things that I realized is, it's a lot of people suffering. It's so many people suffering right now, and when I have certain conversations with people, I'm able to make connections, and they teach me stuff, and I learn stuff of my own by just listening and communicating. Me expressing what I'm expressing right now, I'm learning it about myself.
Right.
So yeah, it's a process, but I'm definitely locked in.
Like so hearing your story, I was listening, but then as I can tell, it was getting to where we're at now. I was just thinking, when did my journey start as well? I don't know if I don't really think about it too much, but since this is the podcast, I would like to share it as well. Because for me, it's like there's just a language that has no language, and it for me, it was always represented as a feeling inside of me. Like I would do an action, and then something inside of me, outside of like thought or emotion, was happening, and then I like how you said there was too many coincidences to ignore it. Anytime I had that feeling and I went with the action that first came to my mind, because it's like a feeling happens, and then it's like a half a second that you get to decide if you're about to take an action off of that, or you're going to take an action off of the next moment, which that's when ego kicks in. That's when personality.
Ego and confusion.
Yeah, and
we're so intelligent, we start convincing ourselves as to why or why not.
Right. So I always attempted to prevent that in me, and it's always came from going back to the topic of the day, which is surrendering to that first feeling, even though sometimes my mind goes, well, if you do that, you might hurt that person, aka like telling the truth. Being with somebody and telling the truth is sometimes hard, because maybe the truth feels like it's going to hurt that person.
And I struggled with that for a long time, until I ultimately came into the realization that either way, if you're not offering that person truth, you hurting them, and you hurting yourself in the long run. Because if you're not offering them truth, then what are you offering them? You know what I'm saying? We try to convince ourselves that, I'm doing this to save face, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. But in reality, you compounding the problem, because you masking it, you hide it, and the truth is the cure. And no matter how bad you don't want to face it, it has to be faced to release, so that it can get released.
Yeah, I mean, so just so we don't get too long on this one, I would like to end it by saying I was just watching a Instagram video earlier today by this guy named David Meltzer. I personally met him. He just seemed like a really cool dude, so I started following him. And he released a video. I think it was today, and he talked about his time of when he got into meditation, because he thought meditation was like foofy. So there was one thing that this lady said, and when he said this, I was like, that's what it is. We can only perceive at the level that we vibrate at and lower.
Exactly.
So raising your vibrations levels matter. And then the lady was he asked a question, or she asked a question, I can't remember which way it was, but the question was, what is the fastest vibration? What is the highest vibration? It's truth. And that was so crazy to me, just because like it's really cool how much the human can know with their knowledge, with our knowledge, but at the same time, if you sit with that vibration, you don't even have to say it. What's understood ain't got to be said type stuff. So I appreciate, and I wanted to end it with that because I really like that video. Maybe y'all can go check it out. David Meltzer on Instagram, and it's how he got into meditation. I think it's his current video that's up right now. And thank you, Fred, so much. Is there any last words, or where people can find you?
Yeah, definitely. I have 2 Instagram accounts. Also, you can find me on the Apple Podcast at Conscious Conversation.
Yeah.
Conscious Conversations. And also you can find me on Instagram at blessed_vibrations. That's blessed_vibrations.
All right, and I'm gonna leave a link.
I really appreciate you giving me the platform to express myself.
Hey, thank you, brother, and I can't wait to meet you in person and continue this friendship that we got going on.
No problem. Likewise.
All right, talk to you later, brother.
Peace.
All right, y'all. So I had to record that on the phone because Anchor wasn't working properly. So if you stuck around this long, thank you for sticking around, and let me know what you connected with in this, or once again, let's make it a conversation. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, do all of that. Until then, namaste and have a blessed day.